So as far as my expectations for this film, they was all over the place. At the beginning, I wasn't interested and I was, but how did it actually turn out? Well, let's talk about it. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Just My Opinion for my movie review for A Space Jam: A New Legacy. And if this is your first time finding me and you happen to like the video, please give me that thumbs up and consider subscribing. So if you didn't know, the original Space Jam movie came out 25 years ago in 1996. Wow, that is a long time ago. And from all that I remember, I really did enjoy that film. If I saw it today, I still think it holds up and I still think I would have a decent time. I remember singing the song. I still have it memorized in my head. It's pretty cool. And, you know, I mean, it's a good film to me. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's a good film to me. And now we have part two. And this movie is being directed by Malcolm D. Lee. I am a big fan of this man right here. As you can see, this is Martin Lawrence in this film, Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins. But if you look at his filmography, it's pretty fire. Except for Girls Trip, I didn't like that movie, but, you know, we're going to pass that. But this guy has done, like I said, Roll Bounce, Undercover Brother, The Best Man, one of the best black movies out there today. Soul Man, Scary Movie 5, we can skip that. The Best Man's Holiday, Barbershop Movies, Night Schools, that was really good. I did enjoy that. And now he is doing A Space Jam: A New Legacy, starring LeBron James. Now, before I get into any further about my likes and dislikes in this movie, let me tell you exactly what this one is about. A rogue artificial intelligence kidnaps the son of a famed basketball player, LeBron James, who then has to work with Bugs Bunny to win a basketball game. Now, like I said, guys, I'm a big fan of Malcolm D. Lee, the gentleman that is directing this movie. It's also being produced by Ryan Coogler. That's the first Creed and Black Panther. But I have to be honest with you guys, this movie sucks. It sucks big time balls. It is not good. When I was watching this movie at the theater, I was saying to myself, I would rather be at the dentist right now. Now, there are some things about this movie that I did like, and I will go ahead and talk about that right now. And it's really surprising. First thing I liked about this movie is LeBron James. Okay, we all know LeBron James is not an actor. He's a professional NBA player. And most of the time, actors don't transfer, not actors, but athletes do not transfer well over to film. I mean, you may have an exception here or there, but for the most part, that's just not a crossover, you know, that can really be appreciated. But LeBron James in this movie, I'm not saying that the guy deserves any Oscar nominations or anything like that, but I was going into this movie just saying, okay, hey, I just want to have fun. If you can kind of repeat and give me the same flavor as the original Space Jam, I think I'll have a good time. You know, I don't want to take it too seriously. I just want to have a good time. Like I said, I'm not expecting LeBron James to give me good acting. I was going in thinking that his acting was going to suck, but I was actually surprised, especially at the beginning of this movie, just saying, wow, he's actually doing a pretty decent job. I don't know if he had any acting classes. There was a movie that he had a few years ago. I forgot the name of it. It was like a romantic comedy. I think it was with Amy Schumer. I could be incorrect, and I do apologize, but you know, the acting was horrible in that movie from LeBron James, as expected, because he's not an actor, so I don't really want to shame him for that, but it was a huge step up from that film to this film, and so I have to say that I'm impressed there. Also, something else that I did like was there was a certain cameo in this film. I'm not going to say who it is or give any hints. I did not see it coming, but when it came, I laughed and I did chuckle. And as far as the laughs and the chuckle, yeah, there were a few laughs and a few chuckles in this movie to where I did laugh with everybody else in the theater, and also I laughed amongst myself when nobody else was laughing. And so I have to give credit where credit is due there. And possibly, guys, the last thing that I did like in this film was the relationship that LeBron James had with his son, and also how this film kind of takes place in like a real life setting of LeBron James. It's not just a character, or I mean, of course, it's LeBron James in the movie, so what am I talking about? But it does kind of shine on, you know, his upbringing as a child, you know, him getting traded to various teams throughout the NBA, throughout his career, him winning championships. And for me, that's something I did appreciate, you know, something that just makes it more tangible. Even though LeBron James is all over the marketing and that is his name in the film, I kind of forgot about that as I was watching the movie, but I was like, okay, hey, you know, this is like kind of like real life footage. They're just taking the real player and putting him into this Space Jam world. You're probably saying to yourself, duh, Brandon, what the hell are you talking about? But that's kind of like slipped my mind. So at the very beginning, it shows LeBron James kind of as a child growing up. And that's the element that I'm talking about that I did appreciate, that I did not expect. As far as everything else goes, guys, this movie was, it was horrible. Well, I don't know, maybe horrible is too much, but it just wasn't good, and I was ready to go. One thing is, this movie is just entirely too long. It is a 1 hour and 55 minutes. I thought I was watching Titanic back to back. I mean, I was saying to myself, why are these certain scenes in this movie? It is not helping elevate the film. It is bringing it down and making it dreadful. Also, unfortunately, guys, we know that Don Cheadle is in this movie. I love Don Cheadle. He is a fantastic actor, you know, Oscar caliber, all that good stuff. Top-notch performer in Hollywood. Unfortunately, I have to say this is possibly one of the worst performances I've ever seen from Don Cheadle in his entire career. I don't know what happened. If it was the writer, I mean, we have a good actor with Don Cheadle. We have a good director with Malcolm D. Lee. Not a perfect director, but a good director. And we have a good producer. But I don't understand what happened with Don Cheadle's performance. Maybe because majority of his scenes was green screen and he didn't really have anything to act off of. If it was green screen or blue screen, I don't know. I didn't dive that deep into this movie because I just don't care about it too much. But my goodness gracious, Don Cheadle, I love you, my brother. I will support you until the end of time. But this movie right here, man, I just can't do it. It was just bad, man. And LeBron James acted better than Don Cheadle in this movie, and that just does not make sense to me. Also, in the marketing material, you see that they kind of changed up how they wanted to deliver the movie to you. In the original Space Jam with Michael Jordan, I don't believe Michael Jordan was ever an animated character, but in the sequel, LeBron James does turn into an animated character for a brief moment of time, maybe about 20 or 30 minutes in this movie, while he's interacting with all of, you know, the Warner Brother cartoon characters, Looney Tunes, etc., Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, you get it. That part was horrible. The animated portion in this movie with LeBron James is bad. I would just say to myself, God damn, I wish I would be getting a root canal right now. Me talking earlier about me going to the dentist rather me being in this movie. It just wasn't good. My mind was drifting away. I was bored. I was tired. I was saying to myself, wow, I mean, I'm just not entertained. Can we get to a better point in the movie to where things just make much sense? It flows. I mean, I don't know why they put, it just wasn't a good choice to me. It just wasn't. They could have easily taken that out of the movie and it wouldn't have missed a beat. It would not have. Another thing I don't like about this movie is, my goodness gracious, I have never seen this much product placement in my life. I mean, they just shoved it in your face, shoved it down your throat, and then kicked you in the face, making you eat it. It was ridiculous. Now, we all know that this film is produced and distributed by Warner Brothers, but golly, turn it down on the marketing. I mean, this was like self-promotion, self-publishing, all of that. I mean, and there was just no shame of it all. Warner Brothers, we over here, Warner Brothers, Warner Brothers, Warner Brothers, Warner Brothers. It was very annoying. They were trying to just advertise every product that they ever created in their entire company, and it just brought the film down. I mean, and they were just bragging about all the characters and all the properties and IP that they own, whether it's Looney Tunes, Justice League, whatever, you know. I mean, they even had some, like a little Nike commercial in here, and it was annoying, and it just kind of just took away from the film, and I did not enjoy it. And this was also just too meta of a movie, too on the nose, like, oh, you know, basketball players trying to trans over to an actor is just not that good. I see what you're trying to do with the LeBron James. You're trying to save yourself. You're trying to make fun of yourself before anybody else can, you know, of an athlete. I keep saying that, trying to transition over to an actor, whether it's just a one shot or a permanent career move, but it just wasn't funny to me. It was all over the place. And again, just another thing that brought the film down. Also, guys, y'all remember the Goon Squad? I remember from 25 years ago seeing the original Space Jam, and when the Goon Squad originally made their entrance, I remember the music. I remember the score. Doom, 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 doom. That had impact. There was nothing like that in this movie. And I think one of the reasons why I enjoyed the Goon Squad in the first Space Jam movie was because they was actual characters. They actually had personalities. I think you had like Patrick Ewing. I don't think Shaquille O'Neal was in it. I don't remember. Muggsy Bogues, Charles Barkley, wasn't it Larry Bird too? And you got to see those characters in real life before they transformed, into the monsters. So you got to know their personality before and afterwards. And I think it also helped that you just knew them on the court, because I was much more, of a sports fan, as a child, growing up as I am now. I don't have anything against sports. I just don't have time to fit it into my schedule. But that's just something that I really did appreciate with the Goon Squad in the original film. This sequel right here, their Goon Squad are just empty characters with a bunch of CGI thrown on them. You got a snake monster, a spider, and they just didn't really have any significance. I'm going to forget about them, like already. It was just nothing there to appreciate. And also, Don Cheadle is the villain in this film. The reasoning behind, his plan was dumb. I was also talking to Sharronda about that too, and we were just like, yeah, they're just kind of silly. And I'm just like, come on, like if this was your goal, if this is just something that you're just trying to accomplish, why don't you just go to the person and ask them like, hey, can you help me out? You don't have to kidnap their child and make them play a basketball game holding thousands of people hostage or whatever. But I don't want to go any further in that because I don't want to spoil anything for you there. But while I was not enjoying this movie, it did pick up a little bit when the actual basketball game that took place towards the end, holding all the stakes, that was somewhat enjoyable. But my goodness gracious, it was a dreadful ride to get there. And I just did not enjoy this movie. I was ready to walk out a number of times. It is not Bleach bad worthy because there are a few redeeming qualities, which I just talked about, guys. But for the most part, this was not an enjoyable experience. And if you want to go see it, that is on you. Hey, I didn't like it, but this is just my opinion, because when the credits roll, there was people cheering and laughing and, oh, it was so good. Talking to the reps afterwards, it was mostly little kids and things like that. I don't think a mom or dad is going to be like, I didn't like the movie, it sucked, while their 4-year-old is standing right next to them with their juice box and popcorn in their hair. But I just did not like this. And again, guys, all things are subjective, and this is just my opinion. I'll give my rating at the end, but I want to thank you so much for watching and clicking this video. If you did like it, please give me that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, click around right here for other videos that I have on my channel. Just had a lot of fun with Loki and all that good stuff. But if I had to rate Space Jam: A New Legacy out of a 1 out of 10, I think at first I was going to give it a high grade when I walked out the theater, but thinking about it more, I just can't do it, guys. So I'm going to have to give it a 4 out of 10. Yes, a 4 out of 10. My guys, again, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.